Welcome everybody to our stage show here at E3. I'm joined by Peter Molyneux, Creative Director of Microsoft Game Studios, and you've brought by Fable the Journey for us, haven't you?
Absolutely, yes, I have, yeah.
All right, so tell us about this game.
Okay, so here's the thing. When about 8 months ago, Microsoft came to us and said, "Look, we'd really love you to do a core game for Kinect." And we have been working on this project called Milo for quite some time, and so we had in the bag we had lots of different experiences that you could use with Kinect, and we obviously love Fable, and so we started thinking about how you would approach the Fable universe and role-playing games and storytelling and all of that stuff with Kinect, and we worked on a few prototypes, and this is what we're showing now.
Now, this was one of the highlights at the Microsoft press conference because it was like a kind of a core Kinect game, thank God. And it was hard to get a sense of, is this just on rails or is there some freedom involved? So you want to kind of fill out.
I get very, very passionate and quite obsessive about things. And when I saw the reaction, is it on rails? I literally cried myself to sleep that night. And you may not believe that, but that's actually true because I realised that that's what it looks like. It looks like it was on rails, but nothing could be further from the truth. And actually, the first thing that we did when we had that challenge was we wrote the word freedom down on a board. And so you are driving a horse and carriage. The reason you're driving a horse and carriage, by the way, is because it kind of makes sense when you're sitting down. Yeah. This is going to be a core game which you can play sitting down or standing up. Personally, I'm a very lazy person. I like sitting down. And because you're behind a horse and carriage, doesn't mean that you don't have complete and utter freedom. You're going to be traveling across the whole entirety of the land of Albion. And you're traveling 300 miles. It's going to take you hours and hours and hours to do that. Sometimes you're in this case in our demo, you're on mountain passes, and you don't have any choice really to go left or right. It doesn't matter if you're riding a horse with Kinect or controller, that's the case. Sometimes you're in vast open plains and you're moving around those vast open plains. Sometimes you've got choices, are you going to go left, are you going to go right, are you going to go straight on. So think of all the freedom you've come to expect from something like Fable. It's just this time we're putting you in a horse and carriage rather than you running around. And then, in addition to that, at any time you can stop your horse and carriage, you can get off, you can make camp, you can do a little bit of exploring. We don't really, we haven't really optimized for this sort of on-foot stuff because it's really such a wonderful feeling being on the horse and carriage. So it's total and complete freedom.
Very cool. Now, right now we're in, I would say, kind of an atypical Fable environment.
Yes.
Mountains, kind of some problems. What's the scale of the world that we're going to be traveling in?
Well, they'll give you a tiny bit of a background. You don't start as a hero. You start as this member of this dweller tribe. You're on the seasonal migration. You get separated, and you find this woman called Teresa. If you're a Fable fan, you may recognize that word. And she says to you, you have to take her across the entirety of Albion. That's from this sort of beautiful meadowlands into the forest, into the dark forest, across the plains, over the mountains. Literally, you're going across the entirety of Albion. She says you have to take her across there. And while you're taking her across, you're actually being pursued and chased. There's going to be times, in this particular example that we just saw, there is a choice. You can either go across the mountain pass, or you can take the much longer road round the side. Teresa's not too keen on you doing that. Or you could try going right up to the heights. So, there's an incredible amount of choice there.
And the other issue is, as far as how this relates to the overall Fable story, this is kind of a standalone, yeah?
This actually takes place a few years after the end of Fable 3. I'm not a huge fan of prequels, so it takes place after that, and this force which was born out of the darkness called the corruption is now enveloping Albion. And the key thing is that Teresa has lost all of her seer's power. She can't see the future anymore, so she's panicking quite a bit.
Now, what we're seeing right now is our demoer Lewis is stomping a bunch of people, and he's using magic. So at this point, I'd imagine we're a little farther in the game, and your average dweller can't do this, if I remember right.
Now this particular demo, because we focused on, because it really was designed for the stage, the first preview of the stage, we focused on the magic and not, how you can move around and how you can choose to go in different directions. But this magic system, as you see, is completely and utterly unique. Now here's the thing about the magic system. It is your magic system. We don't tell you you must do it this way. It's completely designed by you. So if you want to sit back and use your hand and just cast spells like this in a really relaxed way, you can do. If you want to, get a bit more physical and cast with two hands, you can do. You can do things with your hands, like create objects. You can create things like spears and hammers and fishing rods and telescopes. You can mix all that magic together and really create your own magic system. And that's what I mean by freedom. And nothing can be further from the truth than on Rails, because it's not only the freedom to go, where you want, it's the freedom to play how you want. That's the key thing with Kinect for me, is that it's not like a controller. We're not saying, oh, press this A button. This is more about you and how you want to engage your body in playing this game. So I love the idea with the magic system. Why not just juggle with magic? Juggle with magic here. You can do anything you like in front of you here. When you're ready to cast that magic, you just push it out. And then once you've pushed it out, you can then control that magic and move it around with your hands and then to throw it down. Again, we're not prescriptive about how you do that. You can just create a spell, push it, you're done. You could create a spell, you could push the spell together, mold that spell, make it more powerful, push it out there, control it, bring it down on something, maybe light something with that spell. All of this stuff is really, really hard, if not impossible, to do with a controller. And that's what I love is, if we're doing a core game for Kinect, we should be giving stuff that people have never done before. And allowing you to be, truly feel magical is, a wonderful experience.
Well, that all sounds kind of cool, and I'm sure everybody wants to know when to get their hands on it. So tell us when, or as close as you can.
But it's definitely, it's going to be sometime next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sometime next year, that will work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Not at all. Absolutely.
Now, that was Fable the Journey for Kinect. This is Peter Molyneux. I'm Ricardo Torres. Let's go back to the show and see a lot more cool stuff from E3.
Thank you.